I'm tired today, but how exhausting can a few hours on the phone be, eh, Maddie? Yeah.
Nick Schultz, I mean, you said you talked to him ahead of time, he had a trade you. Was it a case of, okay, there's 3 or 4 teams, so just see where it's the best deal, or
Yeah. I thought, given the circumstance with Nick being a UFA, it's in our best interest as well as Nick's to try and work out a deal somewhere that enables him to play in the playoffs or compete for the playoffs, and enables us a chance to get some assets back, and maybe as importantly, free up a spot where we can start to test drive a few guys that are playing in Oklahoma City that are deserving of that opportunity.
You've only got 5 defensemen here now, so
Yeah.
you bring up a couple of the defensemen.
Well, we'll announce that a little later, but
You're going to need one for tomorrow, for sure.
we're going to need one for tomorrow. But there are some. We'll in all likelihood recall Philip Larson, before he gets on a plane. I mean, we talked about Oscar and giving Oscar an opportunity, or Brandon Davidson's played pretty well lately, but Oscar came down with a bit of an injury today, so that would preclude us from calling him up. They're in a playoff race now. They've played very well the last little while, so it really is a discussion on how long we're going to let them try and keep themselves in the race, or maybe get themselves in the playoffs, and then the benefit of getting them ultimately up here and have a look and give them some experience.
He's going to go down to the minors, so you have another defenseman down there, and you could bring up a young guy.
Well, we're in a similar situation down there with, we were thankful for Corey and for us really that Boston put the claim in on Corey, because we've got a lot of young defensemen down in Oklahoma City too, and I think when you're dealing with veteran UFAs that are in your minor league team, they can be too handy for the coaching staff to put in. We want our young guys playing.
When it came to Hemsky, were the deals that you had similar, and that was the best fit in Ottawa, or how did that all come out?
Well, it's have made a lot of phone calls on to other of my colleagues about Alish over the last number of weeks to see. We all kind of felt we were going to move him. I'd spoken with Alish about that too, and there were a lot more calls today after the game that he played last night. He was really backed up most of the things I was saying to my colleagues. That at some point, Alish has been, devalued far below what my expectation is of him. And I told many of my colleagues that my expectation is that whoever gets him is going to get a real good player. And and that's what I would recall Alish's game. He gets the puck on the fly in the neutral zone. Yak made a nice play to him, and he's very dangerous one-on-one with the fly through the neutral zone. So that really was backing up what I'd been saying, and people. I mean, obviously he hadn't scored that much up until that point, but then the potential of getting a player that could do those types of things opened up the market.
So it's tough for you because you guys had a personal relationship going back to that Stanley Cup run, and you've been here for 6 years.
Well, it's always tough when you have Alish. I remember the first time I met him. I met him in Hamilton when he was at the end of his junior career, and we were riding the bike together in Hamilton as a start. So many years and lots of water under the bridge with Alish and I. Excuse me.
You didn't trade Ryan Smyth.
I'll get it.
I mean, you kept him off the ice. Obviously, you thought, something might.
Excuse me.
Might come there, but there was nothing.
I think Ryan and I had sat down outside of Rexall Place probably a month ago, maybe a little bit less than that, and spoke of the various opportunities that would lay ahead of us. And, you know, Ryan has spoke very passionately about being an Edmonton Oiler, so there was a certain amount of reluctance on his part to move. And we discussed various scenarios and ultimately decided on a very finite select number of teams that would be a perfect fit, because as anybody who knows Ryan knows that he loves to play the game and he would love the opportunity to compete for a Stanley Cup. So there was a very small number of teams, and I'd spoken with those teams, and at the end of the day everybody was very respectful of what Ryan would add to their to bolster their lineup going on a Stanley Cup run. But at the end of the day we weren't able to make a deal.
You talked yesterday, Craig, about having checked off the goaltending box for next season.
Yeah.
On the defense side, what has to happen before you can check that box off for next season?
Well, there's quite a bit of work to do with the back end. I've talked a lot about that. Most of it is on the development phase right now. We feel like by far the greatest depth in our development is on defense with you know, Oscar Klefbom and Darnell Nurse and the way Marty Marinson's played. Would we like to add through trade or through UFA acquisition a top 4 defender? We would. But those types of players are tough to find, and until that happens, we'll continue to buy time and try and develop the impressive group that we have developing, as well as get another opportunity to bring possibly another defenseman in this year in this year's draft.
We didn't get a second round draft choice in any of these, so that's
Yeah.
one hole we have.
Yeah.
They're obviously still trying for that. I mean,
Well, I was, you know, but the market will bear what the market will bear.
surprised you couldn't get a second for Howard?
I was, yeah. I thought my value of him was in line with what a second rounder would be. Certainly we were asking for that price, but as everybody can see, the rental market was quite soft, and you know, at the end of the day, you try and maximize your return, but you want to make sure that you get something and don't get shut out, and that was our motivation.
Is there any thought to moving a core piece, a guy like Gagne, a guy like Yakupov? Was there any conversations in that regard to try and make you improve the team?
Well, there's always thoughts of different ways we can help ourselves, and you know, we're not naive to the fact that we need some help, we need some change. So there are things that are ongoing, discussions that are ongoing internally, certainly, as to what our strategy will be going forward, but there was nothing that really presented itself that would entice me to do that at this time.
Craig, you ran into Nick on your way in. Can you give us
Yeah.
an idea what that conversation was maybe about?
Oh, I spoke with Nick. Probably 10 days ago, and out of certainly respect for him and what he's meant to our organization from a leadership and a character standpoint, and a role model for our developing players, told him what my objective was going forward. I spoke with him on the phone to advise him of the trade, and then fortunate enough had a chance to do that eye to eye on his way out. But terrifically classy guy, and will be missed around here.
Mac, do you want to re-sign Ryan Smyth?
Oh, we'll have those discussions another day. I think you know, that's not necessarily a discussion for today.
And, yeah, it sounds like you had to eat some of Alish's salary. Did you figure you'd have to do that?
Yeah. Well, I felt with the way the you know, the cap was this year, with everybody being up against the cap, and some people being against their own self-ordained cap, that would open the market up and get us our best return for Alish. But we thought we would, yeah.
Craig, do you think
Alish's situation, would you have liked it to have been handled differently? I mean, it seems like for the last 3 or 4 years, he was kind of waiting on a trade or, you know, trying to get dealt out of here, but it never really materialized. Was that just...
Well, I think in fairness to everybody, the situation at the end of last year, I thought it'd be important to be as transparent as possible, not only with you people, but with Alish. So, I mean, I don't know what you're referring to, how we could have done it differently, maybe, you know, concocted another scenario that I didn't truly believe, but we were honest and forthright and with Alish and, you know, to a certain degree with you people too as well, and that's what we're all about.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.